Douglas Kinney Frost. I'm the producing and artistic director of Syracuse Opera. I have been in the opera industry, I'm scared to say, about 20 years. And I was recruited about 7 years ago to come up to be part of the company. What interested me about Syracuse Opera is it sounded like the community was really supportive of the arts. And that's why I moved here. We're always open to new audience members, and one thing we found is a regional interest. So we have people from Watertown and Ithaca and Rochester and Utica, even Albany, who come to Syracuse to see opera. We're the only year-long opera company in upstate New York. Colleagues that come in to see opera here tell us that we have a very young audience. I just see it as a cross-section of the community. I think that some of our repertoire draws an older crowd, some of it draws a younger crowd, and most of it draws all ages. The more standard pieces tend to not get as much attention as the new, fun, vibrant stuff. So that's made us wonder what the programming should be for the community. I don't know that the arts are drying up. What I think is happening is that people are more multidisciplinary than they used to. Syracuse Opera does very well upstate New York. We're trying to decide where people spend their dollars. There used to be a much more thriving artistic community here, and I think that's saturated a little bit with other art forms now. So the classical arts perhaps are not as strong as they used to be. So it's also a part of the evolution of our company is what kind of shows should we be producing. We've had a collaboration with the Syracuse Symphony Orchestra for years. In fact, the opera company evolved, actually the symphony evolved out of the opera company. And so that's a very important relationship to us. So when they went bankrupt, it absolutely changed how we looked at what we were producing. And now that the orchestra, elements of the orchestra are trying to revive as Symphoria, we're hoping and being positive to them about helping them rebuild. It's all sink or swim. I think arts organizations in healthy cities communicate and work together to grow. So if one of us goes down or one of us has a problem, it does reflect the community in general. And there are trends that you can track when that happens. It gets very hectic when we're in production. The costume's going to arrive in time. When will the set be here? When can we load it in? When do the singers arrive? So it's a pretty big operation when we're talking about 100 people organizing all aspects of that. Solving conflicts between artists, solving conflicts of shipping issues or scheduling issues, constantly looking at the streamlining or ways to do things so that we can stay successful and we can stay with the great energy that we have on the team. When the whole team is here, there'll be about 100 people making sure that the opera happens. And so on several levels of the theater and in all aspects, there's somebody doing something. Props, costumes, orchestra, singers, conductors, directors, lots of us trying to get hands-on and all producing one element of the piece.
So I think the opera and the grandeur, it was certainly a glint in the eye of Syracuse in Central New York 40 years ago, that I think the grandeur of opera here in Syracuse is definitely got another 30, 40 years, if not more.
There's a hit of emotion that comes from seeing a production. There's a visceral reaction to the human voice expressing emotion so close to you. And when a composer puts that in the context of a story, and that story is familiar or meaningful, those relationships become really palpable. And that's one reason I think opera isn't for everybody, because sometimes I think that emotional hit is just too much for people to bear. But there's a holistic thing that happens when you're viscerally open to letting this music and the visual wash over you that has yet to meet any other art form I've ever participated in.